Hold on. Here we go. We're in. Yeah, talk to me. Talk to me about the mental health pillar of the company, man.
Yeah. So Rome was started 2014 by two brothers.
Mm.
Um, and I don't want to screw up the story, but the premise behind it was that they received some clothes from a certain company, and it was mainly a women's company with some men's product. And they're like, well, there isn't just a men's only company. Let's come out with some active wear that's geared towards men. Let's come out with some nice button downs. And basically, Rhone is now like a one-stop shop where you can fill up your whole wardrobe, from underwear to slacks and button downs and everything in between. Um, and the founders view Rhone and like apparel as a medium to be able to connect with people. And mental health is a huge pillar for them. So what we do now is I started these events called Mind and Muscle, where there's like a 30 40 minute workout. So it could be like breathing. We've also done like hardcore CrossFit where guys have puked. So it's been like all over the spectrum. But the whole point of that is after it's a like an hour conversation with some mental health prompt. It could be like, what's a challenge you're going through? Last year for Father's Day, it was what's a trait that you would take from your father and what's a trait that you would not. Um, and so you really just get a wide variety of answers from people, which is the whole point. But the whole point behind that movement component is to allow guys to then have like their emotional wall broken down a little bit. You just can't put a bunch of guys in a room and be like, all right, go talk about your feelings.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
not it's not gonna happen. So that's why you have that movement component, or it could be like a cold plunge, whatever it is, basically something that you're all going through, which makes you a little uncomfortable. So then when you get to the conversation part, you are unified. And the whole point is just to A, help break that stigma around men's mental health, and B, also just allow people to understand like they're not the only one going through something. And the last part is that Roan is a safe space for that.
And it's so true. You need something to break us down.
Yeah.
A lot of folk, especially blokes, and in the headspace and definitely don't want to be of like, yo, talk to me about it. It's like, go away. I'm
Yeah.
not really in the mindset for that. So okay, cool. Let's just douse a little bit of adversity in there, whether that's that cold plunge, whether that's Fran, whether it's fucking kettlebells, it doesn't matter, yoga.
Yep.
Feel something physical. And then the next thing, you either give them a journal or you give them a conversation and they can articulate a little bit better. It's like we've
Yeah.
unlocked a different door at the back. They've pulled some desk and drawers in front of it. It's like, no, let's pull those wardrobes out of the way. Let's get to the real problem. Come on, guys. Like we're not
Yeah.
children here. And yeah, we're difficult, man. It's like we're like onions. It's layers, right?
It is layered. It's hard to get to some, but uh everyone has them. And I mean, I feel like it's some, not everybody, but a lot of people do end up wanting to talk and share and open up. And normally it just takes somebody or a couple of people to start that conversation for them to feel comfortable to jump in. But it's been a cool journey. I don't know. I'm in therapy. Like it's the only reason why I was able to open up and like allow myself to go to therapy. By holding these conversations.
Yeah,
Because you always feel like you're gonna get judged.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so yeah, it's been a cool journey. I've been around for about 2 years now, and it's been great.
So why does it mean something to you?
I think it's a culmination of a lot of things. I think it's how I dealt with getting bullied in middle school and a little high school. I lost my mom in high school. Didn't ever properly grief or deal with that. Um, it's being in a fitness environment, and that's the most comfortable environment for me. And I feel like that's where my like real personality comes through. But it's also seeing people going through those challenges and being like, okay, this is like this workout, I'm intimidated by it, or I'm always intimidated like wherever I go into whatever workout, but eventually I'm able to like adjust fairly quickly.
Yeah.
But you see a lot of people struggle with that. And so I equate like mental health to physical fitness in that you're not going to be able to go and like bench 300 day one unless you're some type of freak, right? Like you need to build up to that. So it's like every rep. And so every rep is like every conversation. So I found that it's been really great for my own mental health, and I only want to help other people as well.
Mm, that's fucking awesome, man. And it takes courage at the start for you to be like, you know what, I'm going to give this a bash. This
Yeah.
is worth my time. I'm going to give it a go. And
Yeah.
it's brave as hell to link those two together. A lot of folk just jump in the gym, blind about it, or
Right.
they don't want to talk about it. So they do know it's going to impact their mental health in a positive way, but
Right.
they're just going to keep themselves with the blinkers on and the hoods up and the earphones in, and no, 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 don't talk to me. And you're like, okay, that's fine. We're all on our journey.
Yeah.
You know where we are if you want to open up, no problem. But
Yeah.
there is such a time, man. There's such a time. There's especially new folk that come through the gym, right? I tell people all the time, like there is 99% of people that come in here do it for upstairs, do it for
Yep.
something that's going on upstairs, whether that's 20 years ago, whether that's now, whether they're struggling with addiction, whether their dogs just died. It could be bloody anything.
Yeah.
And most of the new folk just look at me and what do you mean? They want to lose weight or something. I was like, no, man, you got to ask why.
Right.
And then when you dig deeper, there's a confidence issue, there's self-esteem, there's so many more layers, man. Like humans are complex.
Really are. I mean, not gonna lie, I deal with some pretty bad body dysmorphia all the time.
Mm,
It's like a constant battle. But I may come off as like super confident or like feel like I know what I'm doing.
mm,
And half the time I'm just like not confident. Um, but I get more confident when I'm around individuals where I can tell that they're nervous or apprehensive about being in the gym or around that environment. Because I feel like I can be like, I'll say a role model, but help lead them in the right direction and encourage them. And like, there's nothing more than I love when people try. Like, people are like, I want to work out with you, but I'm not like, I can't do what you do. I'm like, I don't care.
mm,
I don't care what you can, like, what way you can move, what your fitness level is. Like, as long as you try, people that don't try, I don't have time for it. So yeah, I think it's a lot of things. And working out for me is like a big mental game. Easiest way for me to like relieve stress and frustration. Um, but it's also just like sticking with it, being disciplined, being motivated, and knowing that it's a lifetime journey.
yeah.
Like a lot of people these days want a quick fix. And that's what I love about fitness is that unless you're gonna cheat, it takes time and consistency. And that takes a lot of patience. And think that teaches you patience, teaches you, you know, how to be disciplined. And so there's just a ton of benefits from working out. So whether you want to go step on a stage, whether you want to go to CrossFit, whether you want to get better at yoga, all of that is going to take time and consistency. Um, and it's a great way for you to deal with some mental health dilemmas or issues that are going on.
Mm, for sure. I think it teaches work.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things where you can get the benefit of just kind of punching in and cruising and going home, right? Like same with
Yep.
skill, you can kind of get there and then you get your attendance medal at the end of the year or whatever the hell it is. You're like, congratulations, we've shoved you through this unit. You're like, well, I didn't do any work. You're like, yeah, well, you turned
Right.
up, whatever. It's like the gym, nah, you've literally it's all down to that effort that you're gonna put in. And only you know how much effort you've put in. So
Yeah.
you can't just show up and be like, I've done my 10 sessions. It's like, yeah, but you've done your 10 sessions and sat by the cooler. Like you didn't do
Right.
anything, mate.
Yeah. I will say there are times when like I love to row on an erg. And so I'm training for in October to run a marathon and then row a marathon right after. Um, and I had this mindset 2 years ago when I was training for the rowing the marathon, which I did, was no one else is going to be putting in the work for me. So I can show up on that day and I can be like, oh, I kind of half-assed it. We'll see how it goes. But there are times when like I'm in that pain cave, but I'm also like, let's make this pain cave bigger because come game day, it's just going to be easier because no one else is going to put in the work for me right now. People can say whatever they want. They can stand by me, encourage me, but I'm the one that has to, I'm the one that has to do the work.
Lights on or off, mate. You've got to pull that rotor. You've got to
Yep.
hands on the handle and kick it away. That's unfortunately that's the thing, and that's why I think that's why I fell in love with fitness, man. It doesn't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
It has no prejudice. The Bible does not care. I can put my hands on it. You can put your hands on it. A lady could put their hands on it. Somebody in a wheelchair, a child, an elderly
Yep.
person. It doesn't matter. It's going to weigh the same. It just doesn't
Yeah.
give a shit. You could have a great day or an absolutely bobbins day. Doesn't care
It's so
about you,
true.
man. And I'm like, you know what? I like this. Sometimes you just need something in your life that just doesn't give a shit, man. You're just like, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Like, this is what it is. You're either going to pick it up or you're not.
Right.
You're either going to pull this handle or you're not. You're either going to hold this pace or you're not.
Yep.
There is no, but it's like, no, dude, you didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I
It
think
is.
that
It's
is,
so true. It's
yeah, I
very
think
black and white.
for sure it's a sense of like meditation, right?
Yep.
You're like, oh, okay. Like sometimes I'm going to need to take the L, and that L is going to be a lesson, not a loss.
Right.
And other times I'm going to take the W and I'm going to go home with a win. And you're like, all right, sweet. I punched that card in. I did some effort. I go home. I felt the reward. I got a little bit of dopamine kicking around. I'm proud of myself. And guess what? Tomorrow you got to do it all over again, bitch.
Yeah. Uh, there's recently, so I don't know. I feel like I get injured, like little tweaks here and there a lot. And normally I used to try to just push through it, which would then just make it worse. I played American football in college, and I remember it was like I instead of knocking down a pass, I messed up and the guy scored a touchdown. And my coach goes, play for the next down. Like basically, he's like, get a pass interference. Who cares if they get 15 yards? They don't get the touchdown. Play for the next down. And recently, I've now I'm like, that's like 15 years ago. That mentality is now like I'm now understanding it, and so this is what like I tell my girlfriend and my friends and like whoever's listening is that play for the next down. So if you go and you're like tweak something or something feels off and you feel like you're going to get injured, like take it back, like take a step back. And if that means you need to modify or do something else, or you just need to call it quits, like play for the next day or play for 2 days later. Because I found that once I do that, I may have the next day may not be great, but I'm not injuring myself further. But then 2 days later, I'm pretty much back to where I was.
Yeah.
And so I found that to be helpful because it's easy, especially like individuals that played sports in college, to want to just push through. Right. And it's like, doesn't matter. Got to get the job done. I came in here to do ABC. I'm going to do it no matter what. And now it's like, okay, well, I could do that, but then I can't do that the rest of the week. So I've found that helpful. Hopefully other people do.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up. Yesterday we had a bit of a talk about the art of auto-regulation, and it's relative intensity and just like I'm trying to trial out something in the gym of give me a 0 to 10 number. Let's go with this scale. All right, 10 being the best day of your life. Mental health is on top of the world. Physical health is on top of the world. You've had a great day. Stress is 0. You're probably
Yep.
going to PR. You're having a fucking fantastic day. And then obviously 0 being the complete opposite, right? And it's probably like, coach, don't talk to me. It's a miracle I'm here. I'm like, all right, so. And the highest that came in, man, was a 7.5 out of 30 people over 2 classes. 7.5. I was like, all right, that's pretty bobbins. Wow. I was like, everyone's not had the best of days. It is Thursday, so maybe we'll be up from the week or whatever. I was like, all right, this is a perfect example. Maybe we need to take the foot off the gas. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, I know you're all crazy CrossFitters, man, and you all like to smash your face into the floor and the pursuit of fitness. But guess what? We're not pro athletes. We're not making money this way. If this thing hinders our lifestyle, then we're probably doing something wrong. It should be, contributing and helping it rather than hindering it. So it was like, right, well, we got 15 minutes, guys. I want you to frigging breathe for this 15 minutes. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable, but you're not going to be in a spot where it's significantly painful. You're like, oh my God, I can't breathe. I don't know my name anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. You're looking at me cross-eyed. I was like, the average person probably doesn't need to go there very often. I think they need the ability to go there, but probably once a month, maybe.
Right.
once every 6 weeks, maybe, like the true intensity, 90% of max heart rate plus.
Yeah.
Does an average person need to go there like 2-3 times a week? Definitely
No.
fucking not. They sit at a desk, man. Why do they need the heart rate at 200 beats a minute? You
It's
know?
so true. Yeah. I've started to do that as well. Like I have found that doing a lot more like zone two training, like conversational pace,
Yeah,
translates very well into me being able to ramp it up and get up there and
me
hold a
too.
higher pace,
Yeah,
like a higher heart rate for a longer period of time. I don't know. And I've been working out since for 20 years and like always learning new things from people, learning new things about myself, learning
yeah.
things as my body changes. But yeah, I think a lot of people, I did that all the time. If I wasn't on the ground after, I was like, that was a shit workout, which is not the case at all. So I maybe get there once a week. Uh, I mean, I haven't over the last like 10 days. I just, my heart rate will get up of 155,
Mhm.
but I'm not getting close to that 90% max heart rate. Not nearly as often as I used to. And I just feel like my body responds better. And yeah, I'm not getting paid for it. So there's no reason to keep doing that. As fun as it can be, especially in like a group environment, CrossFit definitely encourages that. And I think a lot of it is encouraged through the community, like the competition, which was my favorite part about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, people don't need to always do that. It just
yeah.
breaks down the body too much. And those same people are not focusing on recovery like a professional athlete. So,
That's the main point, right? Like, can an everyday person go pretty high intensity for them 3 times a week and recover? Yes. But you also need to be sleeping right, drinking enough water, eating right, stress at
yep,
work being down, yada, yada, yada. Is everybody doing that? Probably not. We've missed a few points off that list. So it's like,
right.
all right, well, then it's our job to be able to liaison with these folk and be like, all right, Sam, maybe you've got an 80% day. Maybe you got a friggin' 40% day, and kind of rudder adjusting from there, And I think, I mean, you're a sportsman, right? You played American football,
Yep.
been in the weight room for a long time. We're used to crushing ourselves in the high percentages, right? Just absolutely tearing ourselves to pieces and be like,
Yep.
"You okay, coach? Give me 5 minutes. I'll go again." You're like, you're having 5 minutes between sessions and you've been training for 6 hours. You fucking numbnuts. The stereotypical jock. What are you talking about? Like math class. I'm in the gym.
Yeah.
So we're used to the high percentages. So I'm gonna
Yep.
say like doing the opposite, flipping that switch is probably going to be beneficial for us trying to develop that engine, that work capacity, that zone too, right? And
Yeah.
I've coached a lot of swimmers and triathletes in my time, right? And the swimmers being short course, long course, and also open water. But I'm going to use the longer events as an example, right? So the open water swimmers, it's like 10K, fucking mental. And then you've also got, yeah, you're not going to see me doing that, mate. In me budgie smugglers for 10K in a frozen lake. Are you crazy? No, I'm going to go squat in the gym. And then you've got the triathletes, right? And that's a lot of cardiovascular endurance. That's a lot of kind of slower pace for a long time. I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
would flick the switch on them and be like, all right, let's slice your training volume in half, but let's push you up to 80, 85%. Yeah, we need to make sure that they can do that without snapping because some of
Right.
them are usually kind of carrying a couple of niggles here, there, and everywhere. But if we just flip the switch and be like, right, now you're going to be subjugated to something different,
Mm-hmm.
the benefit to your overall fitness is straight up.
It really is.
I've been doing the
And you
same
would,
thing, man. I've been working out. I've been doing one WOD a week, right? At the moment, that's a Friday. It's a longer piece. It's 20 to 40 minutes of continuous movement. But the other WODs I do in a week is I literally pull a sled for 30 minutes.
mm,
Because how fast are you going to pull a sled? It's not going to be very fast. I
yeah,
can talk throughout the whole time.
right.
And the rest I've just been lifting, and the body feels like it's friggin' healing. I'm like, wow, look at that. There you go.
It's wild. I just recently changed to like just full body, meaning that I'll just do one movement per body part.
Yep.
But the difference that I'll do is I'll do like, I guess like I'll do lower rep Monday, Thursday, higher rep Tuesday, Friday. But Tuesday, Friday is always unilateral work. So it's always like the lunges, it's rows, like anything basically where I'm just using one side of my body. Just to help with imbalances. Like my right side of my body is, to me, noticeably weaker because I'm a lefty.
Yeah.
But also like I want to run. I'm gonna run a marathon in October. You don't run with both legs like at the same time, right? So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you're
You,
not bounding.
you're gonna hop a marathon.
Yeah.
No,
So
that'd be
it's
impressive.
yeah. But also doing a lot of unilateral work translates so well into then doing my front squats,
Yeah, man.
like pull-ups, whatever it is. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. And also I'm able to go really intense on that one movement. Like this morning it was like intense, like box squats, but then like my quads are done. Like I'm not working them anymore, really. And so I just find it better where I'm able to just really focus on that one movement, and I'm still getting in 12 to 18 sets a week per body part. And yeah, body feels way better. So
Yeah, you
it's
don't
weird,
have to
right? You always
do.
thought you had to go super hard. And like as we get older, we're like, no, we really don't need to go super hard all the time. Your body will still adapt really well. It'll still grow. And just takes, I mean, it took me a long time to figure that out.
Yeah, it's strange, right? Because you want somebody to possess the cognitive ability to grind out a 2, 3, 4, 5 hour session, especially when they're younger, right? Because maybe they get a chance to go semi-pro, pro, and you're also developing tenacity and resilience outside of the gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you need to develop work capacity and work ethic. Yep. Get in there and just fucking grind it out, will you? All right. Sometimes you got to do that. And then once you have that, you're like, cool, what's the minimum amount of work I can get done to get the box ticked? And right, cool, we're still progressing. And then I can go home and recover.
Yeah.
And you just flip
Also,
it.
yeah, we're also not recovering like, I'm not recovering like when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
So,
You don't have the testosterone of a 16-year-old anymore.
no.
Things would be a hell of a lot easier, mate.
Right?
Knees would probably stop hurting. You'd be like, fuck, I feel great all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sleep, man. That's another
Yeah.
one. Like, if I get 30 minutes, an hour less sleep, I get that for 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
Cognitive ability's fucking down. Mood's a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like body's like, wow, I can grind it out, but I'm like, not good, man. It's sending all types of signals. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And
Yeah.
you assess your sleep. It's a huge one,
Um,
man.
if I get under 6 hours of sleep, which doesn't happen often, I typically won't work out just because the risk of injury. I think it's like if you only sleep 5 hours or maybe it's under 6 hours, your risk of injury goes up like 7 times.
Oh,
Um,
fuck yeah, mate.
it's some like crazy statistic. Uh, and also like people are like, oh, I'm gonna do this recovery modality or this supplement. It's like, well, make sure you're eating properly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you need to be like super clean. Make sure you're sleeping
Mhm.
8 hours. Like I'm in bed. I try to be in bed for at least 9 hours. Like make sure you're taking off those boxes, and then you can start adding like those little 1% changes, whether it's through like supplements or recovery boots, massage guns, and stuff. But I could do none of those, and as long as I get 8 hours, if I get 8 hours, golden.
Yeah, dude. I got a bit of a love-hate relationship with these like Theraguns and the boots. And I'm like, dude, you do your thing, man. If you're making money out of this, if you're really trying to get to peak performance, if you want to do the Kona Ironman, you want to
Yeah.
do a sub 3 marathon, you want to absolutely push this, you want to go quarterfinals, semifinals for CrossFit, you want to go Div 2 or whatever the fuck it is, right? If you're just an everyday person and you're smashing beta alanine to go walk on the treadmill, I was like, mate, you might as well took that $30 and burn it. Like if if sleep wasn't legal, mate, it'd be a PED.
Yeah, it's so
Honest
true.
to honest to God, if just try that. Save your money from supplements, save your money on fancy organic, this, that, and the other, pump full of whatever, fortified cereal and all that shit. Do yourself a favor. Don't change anything, but get an extra hour's sleep. See
It's
what comes out,
incredible.
mate.
And also just use that money then to, I don't use like, I need like a fan. Like I'm a big fan. If you want like a pillow, basically anything to up and increase your sleep,
Mm,
put your money towards that. Like some people need like
100%.
cooler sheets or face mask or eye mask. Like I don't, but some people need that. So it's like focus on that. But yeah, sleep is my favorite book is Why We Sleep by
Mm.
Matt Walker. And it's incredible. I think everyone should read it, and it's extremely eye opening as far as how beneficial sleep is.
Yeah, we kind of idealize the workaholic, lack of sleep, grinding for a
Yep.
little bit there. And don't get me wrong, like, you got to work hard, man. I'm one of the biggest advocates of fucking working hard. But then you need to know when the foot comes off the gas completely.
Yep.
And yeah, okay, I've burnt the candle at both ends for way too long. And you need people in the circle to slap you with that wet salmon and be like, come on, mate, like this is too much now. And that's
Yeah.
okay. Like sometimes we need to burn ourselves to think, don't put my hand in the stove. Um, but it's so true, man. Like that sleep, man. It is a superpower. It is a
It really
friggin'
is.
superpower, mate.
Yep.
Dude, I got 3 questions.
All right.
What's the greatest piece of life advice you've ever received?
Oh. Um, this may sound cliche. Uh, it's not about the money, it's about your happiness and mental well-being. And that led me to when I was 30, I quit finance. I used to work in Manhattan. And then I joined ASICS, but for 6 months I didn't have a job. But I quit because my mental health and like, the Sunday scaries and basically just like dreading everything was got in the way of me being able to like enjoy my girlfriend at the time, enjoy my family and friends. Um, so yes, you need like obviously you need money to survive. But I think people realize that, if you're gonna grind through it and you're gonna be miserable, it's just gonna ruin relationships down the line and ruin the relationship with yourself. So that's what I'd say.
Again, another rabbit hole we've all fallen into, right? Like, what are we doing, guys? We're just these hamsters on a wheel, just spinning it for a bigger cog. And then eventually they're going to chuck dirt on us and they're going to be like, good job, you were a hard worker.
Yeah.
It's like, for what? If
Yeah.
this is the only time we're here, if we're going to be fucking real here, this is literally the only time, then what's the point? Why do that?
My favorite quote is by Mae West, and it goes, uh, you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough.
Once is enough. Once is enough, man.
Yeah.
1000%. Couldn't agree more than that.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's so true. It's I think Denzel like requotes it. I think either
Okay.
that or Will Smith, because that's the way that I heard it the first
Oh,
time, and I
gotcha.
was like, yeah, this one resonates with me, man.
Yeah. I saw it on this documentary about this guy that was overweight and ran a 100-mile race.
Wow.
But it was like his struggle. And he did it once and he attempted it and failed. And then he went back and did it again. But he talked about that.
Wow.
I thought it was great.
100%. You only live once. If you do it right, once it's enough.
Which is why like I want to do these things now, like this Run Real Marathon. I only know one person. I can only find him and he's a buddy. Like we can't find anyone else in the world that's done it. But it's like if I can do it now, I know myself in 20 years would be like, you should have done it.
Yeah,
Like that.
100%.
So now it's like, all right, let's do this.
I think about that all the time, man. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, maybe I don't do this. Maybe what you're like, yeah, looking back on yourself, even at the end of the year, you know, will you be grateful that you've done it? Yes.
Right.
Okay. And shut up and get it done.
Yeah.
Mm. What's
I
the
was.
word? Sorry, man.
What's the second question?
What's the worst piece of life advice you ever received?
Oh, I don't know. No one's ever. I've never been asked that, so I've never thought about it.
Mm.
I will say from personal experience is not telling people how you feel. And so
Mm.
I'm pretty direct, especially like in text and stuff. So it can come off as like people be like, oh, you're an ass. And I don't really mean. But when I'm upset, when I'm happy, when I'm grateful, I always tell people. And so everyone knows kind of like where they stand.
Mm.
Um, and I just like that communication. But that also means that I hopefully will not look back and be like, shit, I wish I told that person I love them.
Yeah.
Fuck, I wish I told this person what a great job they did, or I supported them or something. Um, so I know I wasn't always told that myself. And so I wasn't directly told that advice. I kind of live that advice or that experience. And so I'm trying to change that myself and how I interact with individuals.
Yeah. Yeah, that resonates a lot, man. What are the 3 words you tell your younger self?
Tell my younger self 3 words. They have 3 words. All right.
You can make it like a sentence. You can do 3
All
individual
right.
words. Like,
Um, take the chance, or take a chance on yourself. Um,
mm,
which like I did, changing careers. That was terrifying. Um, but I had like my family and friends like supporting me. Um, I found that at least early on in the career, like showing up early, putting in that work, will just help you develop better habits throughout your life.
yeah.
Um, and tell people how you feel.
Mm.
I know that wasn't 3 words, but thank you for letting me expand on them a little bit.
You can expand on them as much as you want, man. They're your
So
words, bro.
I guess it'd be like, be vulnerable, be disciplined, believe in yourself.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
It's been an honor and a privilege, mate.
Likewise.
Mate, you can always, you've always got a seat at this table. Talk shit again soon.
All right. Take
Thank you,
care.
man. Appreciate it. You have a good day.
You too.
Speak soon, man. Bye, everybody.